Piece 24, it's the last judgment of Hu Nefer, and it's from his tomb page from the Book of the Dead. The form of this piece is that we've got some color on papyrus. There are composite forms here, so we see the side or profile view of people's lower bodies, and then we see a frontal view of their shoulders, and then a side view of their heads. But again, in Egyptian form, we see the complete eye. We have hieroglyphics here in art, which again is not common to have writing mixed in with painting, but it's an Egyptian form, and it's going to be a modern form too. And it is divided into 3 scenes, kind of like registers. We have this top scene here, the bottom scene, and then we have the scene here to the right. And then in addition, because this is like a page out of a text, we have a border or a margin on the top and on the bottom. More about form, this is papyrus, and so it's a form of paper. This is a papyrus plant that grows along the Nile River. It is, I'm going this direction first, it's, you cut off the outside of the papyrus plant and you get this meaty flesh on the inside. You roll it out, roll pieces together in a kind of a lattice pattern. Do that over and over again, make it really thin, and you end up with this papyrus paper. The function of this piece is that it shows Hu Nefer. Hu Nefer is this figure right here. It shows him going through judgment, and he is going to see whether or not he gets into the afterlife. And this function additionally is that it's placed in someone's tomb with them, and it is used as a guide once they're dead to what happens in the next life. So this is messaging to him about what's going on in the next world. Context. Hu Nefer is doing this for his own preparation for death, and because Hu Nefer was a scribe himself, it's likely that he made this piece himself, but we don't know that for sure. But contextually, this was found in his tomb. And the last piece of context is that this is from the Book of the Dead. We see that in the title. The Book of the Dead was not a book like you and I know a book. The Book of the Dead was a compilation of spells that were recorded in different people's tombs, either on the walls, on actual furniture, or in this case on papyrus, although papyrus wasn't the norm. So we think of it as a book, and the papyrus kind of enforces that thinking. But more than that, the Book of the Dead was just people getting bits and pieces of what might happen in the afterlife and thinking about what spells they might need in the afterlife. So here are 2 examples. This is spell 79, and this was on the outside of a piece of furniture in a tomb or a casket in a tomb. And it talks about attaching the soul to the body in the next life. So knowing your body, finding your body. And then spell 80, preventing incoherent speech. They thought they might need to know about that. Here is spell 17. It's a lot longer, and it has this description of the god Atum so that he can be recognized in the next world. So what I'd like to do in class is to go through the last judgment of Hu Nefer, and that's going to be the content piece of it. So we just covered form, function, and context, and we'll cover content in class.